In this video, I'm going to show you how I make over $10,000 per day just using Amazon PPC. No other external type of traffic. And I'm literally going to show you everything I do. Absolutely no gatekeeping whatsoever. So if you sell on Amazon and you don't do the stuff that I'm implementing right now, you're either leaving thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table, or you're slowly going broke. And that is a huge statement to make. But as you can see on my Seller Central account, I made $8,600 April 5th, then went up to close to $13,000, over $13,000, over, close to $12,000, and then over just under $15,000 yesterday. And currently right now it is 8:56 in the morning and we are at $3,400. And look, I don't say this to go ahead and pat myself on the back. I'm just here to go ahead and show you proof. And one thing to consider, this is my ad account. Over the lifetime of this ad, I spent over $1.3 million, which sounds crazy to actually say. And when I go ahead and scroll down even lower, you can see, or maybe you can't see right now, but I have went ahead and did over 698 different types of campaigns, which include different types of testing, different stuff that didn't work, but more importantly, a bunch of stuff that did work. And I'm going ahead and doubling down and implementing. And one important note is that these are actually brands that I own. This particular is one brand called Maverick. I also own Factory Laced. I also own Relax Support. And why is this important? Well, I'm not an agency. You see, the whole purpose of an agency is to go ahead and make up different terms, go ahead and make up different trends to make you believe that it is important. The one thing that is important as an Amazon FBA seller at the end of the day is profit. How much profit are you going ahead and making? Somebody can go ahead and tell you what the ACoS, tacos, click-through rate, impression rate, all of that is important, but the most important factor is going to be the profit. So again, that is why it's important. And look, I have been selling some of these products for a long period of time, but I went ahead and used the same exact strategies on a brand new product. And as you can see, I am the #1 new release. So regardless if you're going ahead and trying to fix certain campaigns or certain products to go ahead and try and scale them, or if you're trying to launch different products, this is going to be the video for you. And one thing to go ahead and consider as well is that I do offer one-on-one coaching. A lot of this stuff is going to be broad advice that you're going to go ahead and take, implement your business, and actually make a lot of money. But if you are interested on one-on-one type of coaching with me, the link is in the bio. So let's go ahead and go over what we're going to go ahead and go over today, which is turning you into an Amazon PPC beginner to an Amazon PPC advanced seller. Okay. So first things first, these growth levelers, which is probably the biggest thing before you can even start scaling with Amazon PPC. It's impressions, click-through rate, and conversion rate. All of these things are extremely important before you start scaling, right? Top of funnel, how much traffic are you going ahead and driving to your listing? What's your main image, your reviews, your price point? Do you have a high click-through rate? And ultimately, what is your conversion rate? Is your actual listing optimized enough that it's going to drive a bunch of sales? So let's go a little bit into this. So Basics 101, which everybody knows how to do, is auto campaigns. And you've probably done auto campaigns yourself. But let's kind of dive in a little bit deeper and why it's important to run auto campaigns and how you should run auto campaigns, right? So when you're going ahead and running auto campaigns, Amazon allows you to target 3 different things, as you can see below: substitutes, close match, loose match, and compliments, right? What you don't want to do is run all of these at the very same time. So that's step number 1, separate each targeting areas, right? Because substitutes, when we're targeting them, are going to be so much different than close match, loose match, and compliments, and basically all of those different ad campaigns. So we don't want to have blended data when we're advertising on Amazon, okay? And adjust bid modifiers as needed. What are bid modifiers? Well, if I go ahead and go deeper into this information as far as me running a substitute, you can see that Amazon actually gives us data of where our traffic is actually coming from, where our sales are coming from, and what is our click-through rate. So you can see it's separated by top of search, when we're seen at the very top of every search term, rest of search, where it might be shown in the middle at the end or on page 2 or page 3, and product pages when we're going ahead and advertising on competitors or other people's listing. So you can see that I use bid adjustments a lot. You can see that my top of search on this particular campaign is 30, 18, and 15. How do I determine these actual numbers where I'm telling Amazon to increase my bids? Well, I like to always have a $1 bid, and based on me having a $1 bid and getting data from it, I adjust accordingly. So as you can go ahead and see, on the top of search, I went ahead and had a click-through rate or a cost per click of $1.29. And that resulted in me getting a 30% ACoS, right? Same thing applies with rest of search. I had $1.13 and I had a 27% ACoS. $1.04, 22% ACoS. So I'm already getting a bunch of data back as far as our placements is concerned. And for me, based on my profitability of my actual product, I'm okay being around a 30 to 34% ACoS, because ACoS is just one thing. The most important factor when we're running advertising is actually tacos, and we'll explain a little bit later on why that's important. But for this instance, I'm okay being anywhere between a 30 to a 34% ACoS. So I'm going to go ahead and do bid adjustments according to the data that's going ahead and serving me. So again, this is why, even though I have $1 bid, I'm telling Amazon, go ahead and bid all the way up to $1.30 here, $1.18 here, $1.15 here, right? And then last but not least, start harvesting different keywords. And what harvesting means is once you have enough data, once you see that a certain keyword is giving you a bunch of sales, we start going ahead and making a master keyword list as far as those particular keywords that we will be targeting. And we'll go over that a little bit right now. But what are some undervalued campaigns on Amazon? And the most undervalued campaign is going to be broad match campaigns. And as you can see, if we go back to my actual seller dashboard here, you can see that most of my spend comes from one single campaign, right? So let me go ahead and move myself out the way just a bit here. You can see that first one is a weighted vest broad match campaign. And I have spent over $270,000. Far and away, the most spend I ever spent on any single campaign comes from, you guessed it, a broad match campaign. But most of you guys going ahead and getting information from YouTube or getting information from other people that are agency owners or something like that won't be going ahead and telling this information because, one, they don't have this information because they don't run these types of campaigns, but also because they go ahead and are an agency and that they go ahead and pitch you on certain different things. So, okay, but exact campaigns are actually really good as well. The only thing is that it's a high cost per click. But I have a few things here. It's very good when you have winning harvested keywords to run a single keyword campaign. Meaning, I have a bunch of campaigns that are running on Amazon, but I want to go ahead and tailor focus on specific keywords that I know that are going to convert. Because if I do a single keyword campaign, I know all my data is coming from that one single keyword. So I can adjust top of search. I can adjust rest of search. I can go ahead and adjust product pages very, very precisely, right? So like I mentioned before, bid adjustment can take your business to the next level, as I mentioned before, right? Knowing exactly at what threshold you're going to be profitable, one, but also going ahead and being able to rank, secondly, and most importantly. If it's good enough for an exact match, start creating sponsored brand campaigns. And we'll go over what that means in a second right now. But let's go over my notes for broad matches, right? Broad matches are good because not only are you going to be going ahead and targeting those top performing keywords, but you're also going to be finding long tail keywords at a lower cost per click. So let's say I'm going ahead and, targeting shoe cleaner, right? Instead of telling Amazon to target shoe cleaner, if I do a broad match campaign, I'm going to be targeting shoe cleaning kit, shoe cleaner set, shoe cleaning kit for Jordans. You get the picture, right? We're going to be basically going ahead and telling Amazon to try and find anything they think is similar to the word shoe cleaner. And again, can be essential during off-peak season. And I don't care what anybody says, every single product category is seasonal, right? Think of anything. I can guarantee you it's seasonal. Some of you might say something like toilet paper. I can guarantee you people eat way more during Thanksgiving and Christmas time than any time during the year. So what does that mean? That means that they might sell well throughout the entire year, but they sell more during the holidays, right? So again, every single product category on Amazon is seasonal, okay? So again, this is especially important because we want to be able to find different type of keywords that you might not think will convert, but because of the seasonality of things, it will convert, right? and I won't, we can go ahead and come up with different examples, but at times can be lower cost per click than exact keywords. So this is fascinating, right? Because I've tested this tooth and nail, and I've actually have noticed that on average, the cost per click on a broad match, going ahead and targeting the same exact keyword, is going to be cheaper on a broad match level than it is on an exact campaign level. Don't ask me how, that's just what the data tells me. So how do you find keywords to make single keyword campaigns, right? So the most importantly is these search terms, right? You can see when we zoom in a little bit closer on this picture here, you can see I like to order based on the last 30 days, sort everything by orders. And you can see that I'm getting a bunch of different sales. I had 7 sales here, 7 sales here, 4 sales here, 4 sales here, 3 sales, 3 sales. And look at the ACoS, right? So when we start noticing trends as far as a particular keyword getting a bunch of sales at a low cost per click, best believe I'm going to go ahead and start writing this down and creating a keyword master list and start running these campaigns, right? So obviously this is the best data because Amazon already went ahead and did the work for you finding it. Another one is a search query performance report, right? So if you're able to go ahead and dictate what sales are you actually getting from Amazon, right? Because this is basically Amazon's data. Like I'm getting most of my sales on just this particular keyword right up here. So if you look at the search query performance on your actual brands, you might see the same thing, and you best believe you're going to be going ahead and running exact match campaign for that exact keyword that is going ahead and driving most of your sales. Because if you drop in ranking, if you drop in sales, particularly for this keyword, your business could be jeopardized, right? So basically right here, you're able to go ahead and dictate exactly where your actual sales are coming from any given period of time. If you want to look weekly, monthly, quarterly, you're able to go ahead and do that. So there's actually one more way to go ahead and do that. So let's take, for example, this webcam, and I just purchased this webcam. So this particular person only has 365 reviews, but they have over 1,000 bought over the past month. So even though Insta360 might be a big company and they advertise a lot, they don't have a big review count, and they're garnering a lot of the sales. So what can we do? Let's say you don't have any data whatsoever. You don't have search query performance. You don't have the reports back right now from Amazon as far as like your auto campaigns, or maybe your auto campaigns aren't spending like you want them to and you don't have enough data. Well, you can use this tool called Smart Scout. And again, I don't like to use other tools. I just like to go ahead and give you information as far as what I use in my business. So if you do want a discount code, it is a referral link. So you will be buying me a large cup of coffee if you go ahead and use it. But hopefully I'm giving you enough value where a small cup of coffee is worth it to you. So what do? So I go ahead and go down to this section here where I'm going ahead and trying to look at different type of keywords. And so let me go ahead and just start from the very beginning so you know exactly where to go ahead and find this. So I type in the ASIN report here, and basically it gives me a bunch of information as far as how they get their sales, right? So mostly these individuals go ahead and have a top organic search on these particular keywords. And you can see that a bunch of these keywords are actually their brand, right? 360 cam, Insta360, Insta360. So you might say to yourself, okay, well, I don't have a big enough brand where I'm able to go ahead and pull this many sales. But what the cool thing about Smart Scout, and if you have this tool right over here that's called AdSpy, which costs a good amount of money. Now, I'm not gonna go ahead and sugarcoat it, but you're able to see where exactly are they advertising from, and it's separated based on sponsored products, sponsored brands, and sponsored video. Okay, so then we can go ahead and take this information and see where exactly are my competitors, because you can do this across everywhere. You can go ahead and basically search up any ASIN. And what Smart Scout does is they take a snapshot every minute, every second, every hour to see where the placements are of all of these products. It's a bunch of data on Smart Scout, right? So I can see that they're spending a lot of their sponsored product budget on Logitech 4K webcams, which makes sense, right? Logitech has a bunch of different search volume. They're probably one of the biggest in the space of webcams, but they're going ahead and trying to advertise plentiful on that keyword, right? It has 2,400 searches per month, right? But also they spend a lot of their time going ahead and trying to target best webcams, right? Elgato, Mac camera. So you can go ahead and already see that they're not necessarily targeting their actual brand name. They're targeting a lot of different types of keywords to try and get better ranking, which makes sense. They don't have a lot of reviews to go ahead and go by. So that is one cheat code you can go ahead and use. So again, not a lot of people are going to go ahead and show you these type of cheat codes because one, they don't know. They're not a brand owner. They don't understand how to go ahead and scale their actual business. But let's go ahead and go back to some other type of information when it comes to Amazon PPC. Well, as you know, there's three different types. There actually is more, but the main types of ad types on Amazon is going to be sponsored products, sponsored brands, and sponsored displays. And you guys might already know, right? Keywords and product focus, banner ads, and best for retargeting. But these are my keynotes that you don't waste any time, right? Single keyword tracking is the goal. Don't believe anybody else. You can also start by playing defense. So what I mean by this is that if you have a large catalog already full of products, you can start playing defense already, meaning just target your own other ASINs and you'll be able to go ahead and garner a lot of sales. You can also go ahead and start obviously going ahead and advertising your brand name. So any brand search volume that you go ahead and get, you're showing up at the very top. But single keyword campaign is going to be the goal. And again, people don't like to have single keyword campaigns because it's a lot of different campaigns that you might be going ahead and making. But let me tell you this right now, it's the only way to really focus on a keyword and make data-driven decisions based on one singular keyword. Okay, so what's another thing, right? For sponsored brands, if they're good enough for a single keyword campaign, make a sponsored brand with these keywords. And the cool thing about sponsored brands display, it's going away a little bit right now, but for the last 2-3 years, this has been a lower cost per click, but more importantly, it's been a lower click-through rate. So you're going ahead and getting basically the best of both worlds when it comes to being an Amazon FBA seller. And for sponsored displays, I've tried everything in the book. I've tried to go ahead and advertise on different websites, different look back periods. The best return on investment for me has always been a 7-day look back window. So if somebody went ahead and looked at my brand, I go ahead and target them 7 days afterwards, okay, or within the first 7 days. And that has garnered me the best return on investment. All right. So let's go ahead and see here. What are some kind of tips that I have here? You can't spend when there is no searches. So do not get overly concerned with budgets, right? So the reason why I put this here is that some people might say, I don't have $1,000 per day, right? The thing is that you're only going to spend enough where there are searches to be seen. So if you're searching up something that has 100 monthly searches per month, obviously you're going to go ahead and go through a lot of budget. But if you're in a smaller niche or you're going ahead and targeting niche long tail keywords, don't really worry about the budget because you're not going to go ahead and spend all of it. You can't spend when there is no searches. So again, don't get too overly focused on the actual budgets. Another thing here, placement modifiers will help you cut costs, but you need to have enough data first. And that's why I say that it's important to have single keyword campaigns because you can really cut down on costs very, very easily. And long-term, it's going to save you the most amount of time as well. Number 3, sponsored display is your defense, right? So if somebody already clicked on your actual listing page and didn't purchase, recover sales, but only double down on what's working. In my situation, it's always been a 7-day look back period because sponsored display is the fastest way for you to think that something is working, but it's all fugazi as far as the data is getting brought back to you. If it's not resulting in me getting more profit, I'm not going to go ahead and spend my money on it. And then be mindful of seasonality. If a keyword was not good last month, but if a keyword was good last month, but it's not good this month, check if there's a downtrend of seasonality and double down during in season. So again, if you have a product that does killer during Q4 and then January comes around and you're not getting enough sales, I would think twice as far as negating that keyword. Just lower the bids because we might be in a seasonal type of product. And again, every product is seasonal. I don't care what anybody says. So a good keyword you don't want to negate. Okay. So pro tips, right? No one will give you any of this advice. And the tip is here is this is the only way to create a flywheel system within Amazon ecosystem. I hear this all the time as far as you going ahead and marketing your products on Amazon, but also marketing your products on Facebook and also going ahead and getting TikTok to go ahead and run your products. The thing is that the only flywheel that really exists within Amazon ecosystem is the one I just explained, running sponsored products, running sponsored displays, and running sponsored brands, because that is the full flywheel effect. And why do I say that? Well, how does Amazon truly make their money? Well, We're going to go over that. So why Amazon will help you? Why is that? Not everyone will purchase the first time they see your item. So that's why you go ahead and run sponsor brands, sponsor displays, sponsor products. So why will Amazon help you? If you use this full funnel effect, we're only using ads that convert. The more you convert, the more Amazon goes ahead and makes. And Amazon makes their money on basically most of their money on three different things. AWS, which obviously we're not going ahead and being a part of, but they also make a bunch of their money on ads and selling fees. So if you're going ahead and spending your money efficiently based on going ahead and running what stuff actually works, Amazon is going to reward you because both we're giving them money for ads and we're getting money from selling fees. So that means that they're going to reward you with more organic sales in the long run because you have proven to Amazon that you're willing to spend in the actual platform and your actual products are converting very well. So Amazon wants to go ahead and make more money during selling fees as well. So that is the real flywheel effect. Like, don't get me wrong. You could go ahead and garner more traffic from outside sources, but Amazon only cares about the money they actually make. So don't get that twisted. And another pro tip, focus on tacos, not ACoS. And this is great because I used to be someone that used to obsess with ACoS so much. But once I started going ahead and selling other brands, other products, I started realizing that basically ACoS is not an efficient way to track your ad spend. Right? So what is ACoS? Well, it's the same as ROAS, right? I invest X amount and I'll go ahead and get Y back in ads, right? So what is tacos? How much do I spend on ads versus what is my total sales? Why this matters? Well, you have to really figure out what your true profit is. You might be at 100% ACoS to get a new customer, but your tacos is slowly coming down to 20%. Meaning, if you're like in the supplement space, right? Or you're something where people go ahead and purchase multiple times, your ACoS might be through the roof, especially at the very beginning. But once you start going ahead and getting data back, once you start getting customers to recurring purchase your actual business, even if you have an ACoS of 100%, your total sales might be so much higher that it actually, makes sense to continue pushing at 100% ACoS because over time, you're going to make way more money. So I think tacos is something that you have to go ahead and pay attention to. Check brand analytics to find out what your lifetime value is. So brand analytics is a very powerful tool, right? So not just search query performance, but you're really able to go ahead and check out to see what your lifetime value of your actual customers are. All right. So do not forget Amazon is a full ecosystem, right? So you have to A/B test, whether that's your main image, your title, and your price, right? So again, some people are especially now with these new tariffs, are like, I'm going to go ahead and just raise my price. Well, did you know that if you raise your price, your conversion rate might tank? And in actuality, maybe if you go ahead and lower your price by a little bit, your conversion rate might triple. And now you're actually even making more money and more profit, even with these new tariffs. Well, I don't know that for a fact, right? I don't know your actual industry. I don't know the products that you go ahead and sell, but I have seen that in my products, right? So, but I only get that by testing. So always continuing to test, right? It's you against you every single time and how you can go ahead and get your products a little bit better year over year or, month over month. And ads are not the only marketing outlet for Amazon, right? That's only one avenue. You can go ahead and use deals, coupons, tailored promotions to get more sales, to get better conversion rate, to get a better click-through rate, right? So again, Amazon PPC works in unison with all of these different things. This is why it's an ecosystem. You can't just turn on ads and hope that you're going to go ahead and scale effectively. You have to know the ins and outs of your actual business. And again, focus on what's already converting, right? Target your best child ASIN if you have a big catalog. I have a student of mine that has probably over 500 different child ASINs. If I try and advertise 500 different child ASINs, you know how much overkill that's going to go ahead and be? Well, it's different. Well, the strategies that I go ahead and tell is different, right? Why not go ahead and look at the best converting type of child ASINs, target that child ASIN specifically, and they will go ahead and purchase the other, variations while they're on your listing page. The thing for ads is to simplify it as best as possible and maximize the return, right? So variations are way better than going ahead and coming out with new ASINs, especially right now during these tariff war. Like, you don't want to go ahead and test different things right now. You want to double down what's actually working. And then single keyword campaigns might seem time consuming, but they're easy to monitor and will save you time later, right? So basically, that's kind of the threshold here. Obviously, I can't go ahead and go into your business and see exactly where you lack. So if you are interested on one-on-one with me, that I'm able to go ahead and in there and dissect your business and where you can go ahead and scale, primarily through Amazon PPC, go ahead, click that link below. I only take current Amazon FBA sellers right now. So if you're not an Amazon FBA seller, if this video did not resonate with you, don't consider going ahead and applying for this. We have turned down so many different people. And again, it might be free money, but we want to build a community of actual Amazon FBA sellers that know what they're doing, know what their mission is, and that's scaling with Amazon PPC. So if you appreciate anything I said in this video, make sure to go ahead and click that like button, click the subscribe button. Let me know what you guys think about this. And if you are interested on one-on-one personally with me, not a sales manager, not anybody else, you're actually working with me, click that link below. But until next time, guys, peace.